activities that bring smiles and laughter to others makes her happy. Today's presentation will highlight 3 individuals known for their ability to make others laugh with unique methods of storytelling. While the agenda indicates 5 to 7 minutes, that would not do Ms. Darling justice. No, no, no. Her headliner, her presentation will be 15 minutes, by green at 13 minutes, orange would be 14 minutes, and red at 15 minutes. Over to you, Gloria Darling. The story is the show.
Thank you very much, Madam Master of Ceremony. Before I begin, I am going to reveal a bit of vulnerability for myself this evening, and hopefully you won't be too discombobulated. But I'm in a different part of my home, as well as I'm using a different computer than I normally use. And I am aghast to say every now and then a message pops up that I have low network bandwidth. I don't know how this is going to work, but I wanted you to know, so just bear with it if something technical happens. Now, on with the show. Would you rather be a great storyteller or a great humorist? Show of hands. Great storyteller. Anybody? Yay! Or a great humorist? I think I'd like to be a humorist. Am I alone in that? Do you, do you agree that both storytelling and humor involve engaging the audience through compelling communication? I think so. Storytelling emphasizes narrative depth and emotional engagement, while humor focuses on generating laughter, amusement, and lighthearted entertainment. Today, we will discuss 3 individuals: Jeannie Robertson, Cat Williams, and Tasha Kay, who can be categorized as storytellers, comedians, or humorists. For me, it's all in the eyes and ears of the beholder.
Sure.
My preference is someone who can tell a great story with humor. I like stories that are uplifting, entertaining, and make me laugh. For me, each of these 3 people do that with distinct differences. Let's start with Jeannie Robertson. Jeannie is now deceased. However, for more than 50 years, she was billed as a humorist. She had remarkable talent to entertain audiences with relatable stories of everyday situations. She regaled her audiences with stories about her husband, who she called Left Brain, or LB. Some stories involved her son, who was known as Beaver, and then her friends, including Norma Rose, who was her bestest friend. Even though that is a fairly short list of characters, she found humor in mundane situations and shared them. Can you imagine? For 50 years. She was in her 80s when I saw her perform at a local venue here in Tallahassee called The Moon. She was still on her game. I bet most people in the audience knew the stories already. Just like going to a Taylor Swift concert today, we want to lose ourselves in the stories as we recite them with her. Why do you think hearing a story about her husband's misinterpreting quantity versus volume for items he purchased at the grocery store was so interesting. For example, he purchased 4 bags of flour instead of one 4-pound bag of flour. The humor in the story was that he did this with nearly everything on the list. Why? Because he's left brain, according to Jeannie. More comedy ensued when he struggled to bring all of these items into the house, as well as the length of time it took for him to complete the shopping, while she was anxiously preparing to bake a cake for an event that evening. Who among us can relate to sending a family member to the store to later receive something totally different than requested? Jeannie had a way of captivating the audience by excellent character development, building up the emotions of the moment and then drawing the audience in with a compelling storyline. We could feel her frustration of wondering why it was taking her husband so long. We could visualize his dumbfounded face when he realized the error he made. She further connected with the audience with her timing and delivery of comedic anecdotes. More about Jeannie Robertson. In 1980, she was designated a certified speaking professional by the National Speakers Association and served as the association's president in 1985. She was the first woman to receive the National Speakers Association Cabot Award in 1989. And she was the Toastmasters International Golden Gavel awardee in 1998. In 2018, she sponsored the Jeannie Robertson Comedy with Class comedy competition. The current winner is Tara Brown, who you can find at Dry Comedy on the internet. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of Cat Williams or seen Cat Williams in concert. How was that experience for you? While he is characterized as a stand-up comedian, to me, his style is observational, humor with comedic timing, and lots of exaggeration and purposely generated laughter. Unlike many stand up comedians, he doesn't dump on others. The joke is always on him. Admittedly, the language he uses is quite crude and not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. But the stories are relatable to everyday people or situations. One bit I like is the one where he talks about insurgents, smoking too much weed, those people in Colorado, and eating your baby's cereal. That story starts out as if it's a political statement. He talks about the government going beyond fighting with people in uniforms and labeling people as insurgents and bullying them. Then, for some reason, bullying insurgents is fine because one, you don't personally know any insurgents, and two, if you smoke enough weed that's strong enough, you will believe anything. Then comes the day when you wake up to your baby crying because all the cereal is gone. Your problem is that it is easy to get high, but not so easy to acknowledge getting high and eating your baby's cereal. Now you're embarrassed and have to pretend to look for the box and tell your baby, oh, the insurgents came in our house and took your cereal. I don't smoke weed and never have. Yet I found something to make me laugh in his story. As a mother of 3 sons, I could easily relate to a child crying for something and being stuck having to come up with a quick, albeit ridiculous, excuse to deal with the situation. Another message: it's easy to blame the person you don't know for your problems. Who are the insurgents? Of course, they're the best scapegoats around. Deeper still, when we are uninformed, we will fall for anything, just like babies. Cat Williams was recently a guest on the Shannon Sharp's YouTube channel, Club Shay Shay. The interview was so candid and revealing that it broke the internet. Do you know what it means to break the internet? Shannon Sharp made history by having the highest paying YouTube episode. That is a feat. More about Cat Williams. He is also an actor and has been in several movies and television shows. He has 10 children, 3 biological and 7 adopted. Or is it 1 biological and 9 adopted? It really doesn't matter. Anyone who can adopt multiple children is a great individual in my book. His current tour is Cat Williams and the Dark Matter Tour. Now, that brings us to Tasha K. She is a YouTube personality whose claim to fame is celebrity gossip. Starting in her bedroom, she has grown her YouTube channel to more than 1 million subscribers, placing her at the elite level of social media personalities. She has channels on YouTube, Instagram, and more, but I've only experienced the YouTube channel. It's called Unwind with Tasha K. She's branded her show with the concept of having a glass of wine and gossiping with friends. She calls her subscribers winos. Her style is loud, boisterous, yet conversational and fearless. Instead of simply reporting gossip, such as celebrity so and so's love interest dumped her today, Tasha gives her listeners the full story. She goes deep into the what, the why, the how, the where of the story. Some stories are one and done, and some stories come in serials. Yet, she shares so much information that she makes herself vulnerable to lawsuits. She has had one doozy of a lawsuit where the famous rapper Cardi B sued her for defamation and won, being awarded $4 million. Tasha has perfected her storytelling so well that she's taken her show on the road. This year, she's embarked on a tour called Tasha K on Stage, where she performs her routine in several small venues in cities across the country. She's not at the Cat Williams stage yet, but getting there. More about Tasha K. She is married with children. She was raised in Panama City, Florida, and lives in South Florida. She provides opportunities for other up and coming social media personalities to grow by filling in on her channel when she's out on tour. What have you learned from my brief presentation about these people? I've learned that no two storytellers are the same. Whether they are called storytellers, humorists, or comedians, the impact we get from each person presented is reflection on the story's theme, connection with the message being conveyed, and gratification through laughter and amusement. We are all Toastmasters, learning to be the ultimate storytellers. Our club is Find Your Funny, where laughter is golden. Please take advantage of the opportunities you have to learn and practice your style of storytelling for your audience. Just like Jeannie, Kat, and Tasha K, the story is the show. Matter, Master of Ceremony.